Hi everyone, my brother and I created a difficult game about reversing a trailer.
The idea for the game comes from a Mike Boyd video where he learns how to reverse a trailer, which is actually really difficult due to the unintuitive nature of reversing a trailer. In the video, it took him just under 3 hours to learn how to reverse a trailer into a barn. My brother saw this and thought it's a really great, and I guess terrible rage game for us to make.
This is impossible!
We want the game to feel similar to other rage games, also known as Fodian or Foddy games, like Getting Over It, Get to Work, and a difficult game about climbing. So the player will just be dropped into the world without any UI and they'll need to find a way forward. When we started making the game, we made this basic level, and we also quickly made a truck that can drive a trailer around, just to see if it is actually fun. We playtested it ourselves and also gave it to some other people to playtest, and it was a lot of fun. Initially it's quite challenging, but everyone wanted to keep going, and it's quite fun figuring it out.
There is an issue with this prototype though, and that's that the player can just drive forward, which is completely against the point of a trailer reversing game.
So this is quite a challenging problem because this completely breaks the game, and we can't just remove driving forward altogether, because sometimes it's nice to drive forward a little bit just to level out the trailer.
After a lot of thinking, this is the solution we came up with.
The truck that you'll be driving in our game is bad, and I mean terrible. It's so bad that when you start driving forward it starts smoking, and the smoke gets progressively worse until, well, it explodes. Fortunately, the truck can be fixed over time by reversing it. To implement the engine damage mechanic, we added an engine damage value, which increases to a maximum of 1 when the car drives forward and decreases to a minimum of 0 when the car drives in reverse. When the maximum value is reached, the game restarts. We then created this engine smoke effect, this engine explosion effect, and we recorded this engine damage sound. We mixed all of these together with the engine damage value, and this is what we ended up with. After that, there's still one more problem with our implementation, and that's that the player can jackknife the trailer and then just push it around, which effectively means they can just reverse the car as they would normally.
Fortunately, the fix for this is relatively simple. All we need to do is break the trailer joint after 1.5 seconds of jackknifing.
Here's what that looks like.
Cool, and with that, we've implemented all of the essential game mechanics. Now we can start with a really fun part, which is level design. The first level is the introduction to the game. It's a construction site, and it's the closest thing this game is going to have to a tutorial. After a lot of playtesting and iteration, this is finally what we ended up with.
Players took an average of 15 minutes to complete this level. It starts off with this really small straight, which, despite what it might look like, is already pretty difficult for players just starting out. Then the player reaches the first left turn, which is also quite difficult the first time. Then there's a long straight, and there's a couple of uphill turns. After that, players run into the first very intimidating part of the game, and that's this thin bridge that goes into a tunnel. If players manage to cross that bridge, they can go through the tunnel and reach their first checkpoint.
And some people might be thinking, well, 40 games don't usually have checkpoints. And while it is true, and it is something we considered quite a lot, but ultimately this game leaves you in unrecoverable positions. The checkpoints are still few and far between, and from playtesting, it was obvious that the game still has that Fodian game feel.
I don't want to show too much of the game, but here's the start of the second level. It's quite a big step up in difficulty from the first level, taking an average of 45 minutes to complete, and it introduces the player to uneven terrain. And this is the start of the third level. This level focuses on downhill driving, which forces the player to learn a different driving style, since the car will go backwards on its own, and you need to use braking and driving forwards to mitigate that.
I don't want to spoil the game, so this is as much as I'm going to show, but I will say the game has a lot more content. It also has some surprises, and we focused a lot on adding replayability to the game. And in terms of the actual gameplay, there's only so much I can explain. It is something you have to try for yourself to get the full experience. For anyone who wants to try it out or thinks they're up to the challenge, the game is simply called Trailer Game, and it's available on Steam now. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching everyone. Till next time.